Two former U.S. presidents. One explosive insult, and a scandal that refuses to die. In a shocking twist that's sending shockwaves through the political world, Bill Clinton just called Donald Trump's entire administration garbage. But instead of staying silent, Trump clapped back. Not with words, but with a brutal Epstein bombshell that could drag Clinton's name right back into the darkest scandal in modern American history. What really happened? Why now? And what does this mean as the 2024 election battle heats up? Buckle up, because this is not your average political feud. This is Clinton versus Trump, uncensored, unfiltered, and dangerously personal. Fire the verbal grenade that shook the political world. The Trump administration was garbage. These weren't just harsh words. They were a political bombshell, allegedly dropped by none other than former President Bill Clinton during what was supposed to be a low-profile, private gathering. According to multiple insiders who claimed to have been at the event, a closed-door fundraiser attended by prominent Democratic donors and former White House aides, Clinton didn't mince words when the topic turned to the state of America's political affairs. The quote, now echoing across social media platforms like wildfire, was first leaked to an independent journalist and then picked up by conservative news outlets. Within hours, it was trending. And just like that, a storm was unleashed. This wasn't the usual cautious, calculated Bill Clinton the public had grown used to seeing in his post-presidency years. This was Clinton, gloves off, firing a verbal rocket at Trump's legacy. Those who heard it say the former president slammed Trump's entire four-year term as a disaster for democracy, a failure in global leadership, and a stain on American values. He allegedly criticized Trump's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Capitol riot, and even America's standing with NATO allies. But it was the word garbage that stuck. Brutal, dismissive, unfiltered. It broke one of the few remaining unspoken rules of presidential decorum. Former presidents don't publicly bash each other, especially not with insults like that. Yes, disagreements have always existed. Yes, subtle jabs happen. But this was different. It didn't take long for political analysts to speculate. Was this planned? Was Clinton trying to send a message on behalf of the Democratic establishment? Or was it a moment of unfiltered honesty that just happened to get leaked? Whatever the reason, the damage was done. The quote spread across TikTok, Instagram, and X, formerly Twitter, like digital wildfire. Clinton, who'd been keeping a relatively low profile in recent years, was suddenly the center of attention again. Not for policy, not for charity work, but for starting a fight with the most unpredictable political figure of our time, Donald J. Trump. And if there's one thing the world knows by now, you don't throw punches at Trump and expect silence in return. Eyes Clinton's rare public swipe and why it matters. Clinton hasn't exactly been Trump's biggest fan. That much is no secret. But he's rarely said much publicly. While his wife, Hillary Clinton, has been more vocal in criticizing Trump over the years, Bill Clinton has typically taken the higher road, staying quiet, focusing on his foundation, and avoiding direct confrontation. So why now? Some insiders believe Clinton is frustrated. Frustrated with the direction of the Republican Party. Frustrated by how much Trump still dominates the political conversation. And maybe even frustrated that his own legacy is constantly being compared to the chaos of the Trump era. Others think this is a calculated political move, a warning shot before the 2024 election heats up. Clinton may be using his influence and reputation to rally Democratic donors and energize the base, reminding them of what's at stake if Trump returns to power. Whatever the motive, his words hit hard, and Trump was listening. Speech balloon Trump's response. Brutal, fast, and personal. Trump didn't wait long. Just hours after the garbage quote began trending, he logged on to Truth Social, his platform, and fired back with the kind of scorched earth response only he could deliver. Bill Clinton is the last person who should be talking about what's garbage. Funny how the man calling my administration garbage is the same one who took dozens of flights on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express. Bill, you want to talk about trash? Let's start with your flight logs. Boom. In a single post, Trump turned a political insult into a moral and criminal allegation, bringing back one of the most disturbing and controversial scandals of the 21st century, Jeffrey Epstein. This wasn't just a counterattack. It was a calculated effort to remind the world of Clinton's alleged ties to the convicted sex trafficker. Whether or not the allegations are provable in court, the court of public opinion doesn't need solid evidence to get loud, and Trump knows it. Why this clapback is so dangerous. By invoking Epstein's name, Trump didn't just retaliate. He reignited an old firestorm that has never truly gone away. For those unfamiliar with the scandal, Epstein, a billionaire financier with elite connections, was arrested in 2019 for running a sex trafficking ring involving underage girls. His sudden and suspicious death in jail left the world stunned and full of conspiracy theories. Flight logs revealed Bill Clinton had flown on Epstein's private jet, nicknamed the Lolita Express, multiple times. Clinton has admitted to a handful of those trips, but denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes or visits to the infamous private island. Still, the stigma has followed him ever since. Trump, who also had known Epstein socially in the early 2000s, has distanced himself from Epstein in recent years, claiming he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago and wasn't a fan. Still, both men have faced scrutiny over the years regarding their connections to Epstein. By pulling this card, Trump reminded the world of Clinton's darkest associations and made it clear that he's ready to fight dirty if necessary. Mobile phone, the internet explodes. Supporters take sides. Almost instantly, the clash went viral. Trump fans praised the move, calling it a devastating counterpunch, while Clinton supporters accused Trump of using a dead man's crimes to distract from his own legal troubles. Videos started popping up across YouTube, TikTok, and Rumble, analyzing flight logs, comparing timelines, and speculating what else Trump might be holding back. Some creators even claimed Trump was sending a message: say one more thing, and I'll drop everything I've got. Memes, threads, reaction videos. The digital world had entered a full-blown frenzy, and the 2024 election hasn't even officially started. Pushpin final word. Why this moment matters more than it seems. At first glance, this story might look like just another round of political mudslinging, a classic Clinton-Trump fight. But look closer, and you'll see something more serious underneath. This is a sign of what's coming. If the race for 2024 becomes Trump versus the Democratic establishment, expect more attacks like this. Expect more personal scandals, old wounds, and dirty tricks to dominate headlines. Because in this new age of politics, it's not just about policy anymore. It's about narratives. It's about character destruction. It's about who can survive the fire and who gets burned alive by it. When it comes to Donald J. Trump, silence is never an option, especially not when someone calls his entire presidency garbage, and especially not when that someone is Bill Clinton, a fellow former president with a controversial past of his own. The moment Clinton's alleged comment leaked, slamming the Trump administration as a garbage fire of leadership, corruption, and failure, Trump didn't wait for reporters, press conferences, or fact-checkers. He went straight to his weapon of choice, Truth Social, his personal social media platform where he has total control and zero filter. And there he unleashed a counterattack so brutal, it didn't just defend his record. It reopened one of the most chilling scandals in modern political history. Mobile phone with arrow the post that shook the political sphere. In bold, unapologetic language, Trump wrote, "Funny how the man calling my administration garbage is the same one who took dozens of flights on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express. Bill, you want to talk about garbage? Let's talk about your flight logs." Mic drop. Boom. The post exploded across social media within minutes, with screenshots shared by supporters, critics, and mainstream news outlets. It was instantly clear Trump wasn't just responding, he was declaring war. Direct hit, strategic, savage, and stunningly personal. Trump's response hit on multiple levels. First, it flipped the insult back on Clinton, not by debating policy, but by challenging his moral credibility. That's Trump's signature move. When attacked, attack harder. Don't argue on their terms. Change the rules of the game entirely. Second, and far more explosive, he resurrected a name that sends shivers down the spine of anyone who's paid attention to elite scandals: Jeffrey Epstein. By dragging Epstein into the conversation, Trump didn't just go for shock value. He struck directly at Clinton's most infamous unresolved controversy, his alleged involvement with the disgraced financier, whose private jet and island were linked to a chilling network of abuse and elite misconduct. Trump knows the power of that scandal. He knows the public hasn't forgotten. And with one post, he turned Clinton's verbal jab into a self-inflicted wound. Airplane, the Lolita Express, and the Clinton-Epstein connection. Trump's attack referenced Epstein's private jet, which gained the nickname Lolita Express due to the disturbing allegations surrounding the flights. Claims that underage girls were trafficked and abused while Epstein transported high-profile guests around the world. According to flight logs and documents released in various court cases, Bill Clinton is listed as having flown on Epstein's jet at least 26 times. While Clinton has denied ever visiting Epstein's private island, saying his contact with Epstein was limited and related to his work with the Clinton Foundation, the connection has never gone away. In the court of public opinion, especially in conservative circles, Clinton's name is forever linked to Epstein's. And Trump knows it. By resurfacing those flight logs, Trump wasn't just throwing mud. He was reminding the public of the unresolved shadows in Clinton's past, shadows that still stir suspicion, debate, and fear. Speech balloon Trump's calculated messaging, not just defending, but dominating. What makes Trump's post so effective, at least among his base, is its combination of simplicity, savagery, and shock. It speaks directly to his audience's emotions. He doesn't bother defending his administration's policies in a 500-word essay. He doesn't issue a statement through a publicist. He cuts right to the throat with one sharp, explosive accusation. This isn't just about Bill Clinton anymore. This is Trump warning the entire Democratic establishment. If you come for me, I will burn your history to the ground. For Trump, the battle isn't won by staying polite or playing by Washington's rules. He wins by changing the narrative, by distracting, discrediting, and dominating. And let's be honest, it works. Within hours, right-wing commentators, podcasts, and news shows were digging back into Epstein's connections. Hashtags like hashtag Clinton Epstein and hashtag flight logs were trending again. YouTube creators were publishing videos comparing Clinton's trips on Epstein's plane with recently released court documents. All while the original insult, Clinton's garbage comment, faded into the background. Trump had done what he does best, take control of the conversation. Thinking face, strategic genius, or dirty politics. You decide. Of course, not everyone was impressed. Critics accused Trump of weaponizing a tragic criminal case to deflect attention from his own controversies. They argued that bringing Epstein into the conversation, again, was an act of desperation, a smokescreen to distract from Trump's ongoing legal battles, including multiple indictments. Others pointed out the irony. Trump himself once knew Epstein, even socialized with him at Mar-a-Lago. But Trump's team has long insisted that he banned Epstein from his properties and cut ties years before the scandal broke. Regardless of who you believe, here's the undeniable truth. Trump doesn't retreat. He retaliates with maximum force. And in the world of modern politics, where attention is currency and headlines are power, his counterattack landed exactly where he wanted, at the center of public conversation. Microphone final thought. Trump's response to Clinton wasn't just personal. It was political theater at its most intense. It reignited a scandal, rewrote the news cycle, and reminded the public that nothing is off limits in this battle. With the 2024 election looming, this is likely just a preview of the chaos to come. So buckle up, because in Trump's world, every insult comes with a bombshell.